My 22M boyfriend gave me 25M three shocking ultimatums. Move in together, drive him 2 hours daily, or accept an open relationship. After ghosting me for days, he claimed our sex life was selfish and said he never enjoyed it. Am I the real problem in this mess? I am having a really difficult time processing everything that has occurred in my relationship. I want to approach this fairly and objectively, but it is challenging to see things clearly when you are personally involved. I am a 25-year-old male, my boyfriend is a 22-year-old male, and we have been together for 8 months. We have maintained a long-distance relationship the entire time, living about 2.5 hours apart. I am in medical school, while he has been diligently working to gain admission to graduate school. Overall, our relationship has featured many positive moments. When we are together in person, things are usually fantastic. I would say 95% of those days have been pleasant. I am generally a go-with-the-flow type of person, but I have been actively working on expressing my feelings more, which is something I did not do in previous relationships. As we grew more serious, I aspired to cultivate a relationship characterized by improved communication and emotional honesty. Month-by-month breakdowns. Month 1. I hosted a house party and introduced him to my friends. Everything went smoothly and everyone got along well. Later that evening, he consumed too much alcohol and blacked out. I looked after him and did not make a fuss about it. It felt like one of those situations that simply happens sometimes when people drink too much. We officially began dating after this event. Month 2. We attended a music festival together with some of my friends. Once again, we had a wonderful time, but he ended up blacking out again, and I had to take him home early, which meant we missed the after party. I did not shame him or become angry, but I began to worry about his drinking habits. Around this time, we also engaged in our first serious conversation about sexual boundaries. He is a bottom and expressed that he does not like using condoms. I told him I was not comfortable having unprotected sex unless we were both tested, especially since he mentioned not using condoms in past hookups. It took a few months and some emotional conversations before he got tested, but he eventually did. I believed it was a reasonable and healthy boundary to establish, and I tried to approach it calmly and without judgment. Month 5. Things had been progressing well. We started to open up more about sex. I shared that I am a bit kinkier and enjoy exploring more, while he tends to prefer straightforward sex as a bottom. I attempted to take on the dominant role, but I struggled with nerves and self-consciousness. Despite that, I was committed to making it work and wanted to fulfill his needs. We explored some of the kinks I liked, but I also felt pressure to focus solely on what he was interested in, and I did not feel as though he was willing to compromise or explore. Month 6. This is when things started to change. I began to notice him becoming distant. I mentioned my desire for us to communicate more throughout the week, such as through more texting or calling to stay connected. When we FaceTimed to discuss this, he became defensive. I felt like I was merely expressing a desire for closeness, but he responded as if I were accusing or attacking him. I ended up apologizing to maintain peace. We did end up texting more afterward, so I considered that a small victory, even if the conversation was difficult. He accompanied me to my medical school prom, but once again he drank too much and blacked out. That night was different and became a breaking point. The following day he confided in me that he had been drinking heavily, even drinking and driving with open containers. That frightened me. I expressed how proud I was that he confided in me, and I fully supported him. I also encouraged him to seek local resources since I was not physically present to help every day. Around this time, I was trying harder to meet his sexual needs. However, he became cold and distant. He would say he did not feel clean, did not want to do anything, or was not in the mood. That was fine and I did not pressure him, but it was difficult to feel as though I was not even being given a chance to improve. I even stopped watching pornography and masturbating because I felt it was negatively impacting my performance and intimacy with him. I genuinely wanted to be there for him. However, even when I felt confident and ready, he was uninterested. We ended up engaging in activities focused on my pleasure, but I did not want to push him beyond his comfort level. Month 8, where it all fell apart. We had planned for him to move in with me during the summer before he started graduate school. He indicated that he wanted to work full-time 40 hours at Starbucks, commute 2 hours daily, and participate in an unpaid apprenticeship. I conveyed that I felt sad, not angry, because I had envisioned this summer as an opportunity for us to truly connect, both emotionally and sexually. During the summer months, most medical students leave town, so I would be alone, and I was eagerly anticipating sharing time with him, cooking, hiking, and simply being close. I was hoping for more balance, perhaps 30 to 40 hours of work to create time for us. Instead of having a conversation, he responded with hostility. He accused me of being controlling, claimed he would be broke, said he was not going to be my servant, and more. I was taken aback. My intention was to express my feelings, not to make demands. I had already offered to cover rent and utilities and told him I could assist with food or other expenses if necessary. I was not trying to control him, rather I was trying to support him and create space for our relationship. I later suggested an alternative via text, staying at my mother's house in Massachusetts. It is spacious, quiet, and near my friends and family, and he would have better job opportunities there. It had worked exceptionally well for my brother and his girlfriend when they lived there. I believed it might resolve many logistical issues and bring us closer. After this suggestion, he ghosted me for 5 days. No reply, no response, nothing. This occurred even after I suggested a FaceTime call to discuss it the day after. If he had texted me saying he needed space, I would have completely respected that, but ghosting me for 5 days seems like a complete lack of respect in an 8-month relationship. The fallout. Out of the blue, he sent me a blank Snapchat. I replied, "Now you snap me after ignoring me for days." He said he was waiting for me to text something sensible. He then informed me that he had never enjoyed sex in the relationship, that I was selfish, and that he had never felt even a little bit pleased. I was taken aback. We had so few opportunities to be intimate due to the distance, and every time I asked him afterward if he felt good, he responded positively. He even reached climax during those moments. I thought we were progressing toward more intimacy over time, not deteriorating. I sent a text message apologizing and shared that pornography had been an issue for me in the past, and I was diligently working to change. I just wanted him to know that I was trying and that I cared. The final FaceTime. I opened up about everything, including how I was handling my own issues, especially the pornography problem, which is something he had never known about, and how I was working hard to be a better partner. I expressed how hurtful the ghosting had been and how I simply wanted to have a mature conversation about our future. He told me I had 8 months to inform him about the pornography problem, but I did not think that was fair since he had never communicated his alcohol issue until it became severe. He provided me with 3 ultimatums. 1. He must move in with me in my state, or the relationship cannot continue. 2. I must drive him to and from work every day, a total of 2 hours to drop him off and 2 more to pick him up to bond. 3. Once he starts graduate school, he desires an open relationship. I was taken aback. I attempted to explain that I had only suggested living with my mother to simplify things and spare him an exhausting commute. I did not realize it triggered past trauma for him, living with an ex and feeling trapped. However, he never mentioned that until now. I was not trying to coerce him, I merely wanted to discuss it like partners. However, instead of addressing it with me, he allowed resentment to build and then exploded. Reflection. He harbors many feelings within, and when I attempt to address something, he either shuts down or lashes out. I feel as though I am constantly apologizing, even when I approach issues gently or with good intentions. He claims I argue and do not please him sexually, yet he seldom provides me with direct feedback or assists me in understanding how to grow together. How am I supposed to rectify issues if he refuses to talk to me about what is bothering him? Compared our arguments in Apex Legends gaming to relationship problems. Sure, I can be intense when we play competitive games. I am very competitive, which is my greatest flaw, but he always insists on playing ranked matches at a high level like the top 5–10% of players, instead of choosing a more relaxed game like Minecraft. I do not believe it is fair to equate my criticisms during a game with our relationship and communication, as they are fundamentally different. Additionally, when I recognized that he was hurt during a gaming session, I paused the game, apologized, and attempted to converse. He refused to engage and instead harbored resentment and went straight to bed. If he retreats every time his feelings are hurt, how can I work to resolve issues? I would take his feelings seriously, but he becomes quiet and shuts down, and when I voice my concerns, he reacts as if I am attacking him personally when I am attempting to collaborate as a team. He keeps his problems to himself, which somehow also feels like my fault, even when I offer him support. It feels as though I am always cast in the role of the antagonist, even when I strive to communicate maturely and compromise. He shared my text messages with his best friends who said I was controlling, yet he did not come to me to discuss it. That feels unjust, as it is our relationship, not mine or his friends. A friend of mine supported me, but that holds little weight because we are supposed to be a team in resolving these issues, not ghosting each other and referring to friends. His friend probably does not know about the ultimatums he provided me, so I suspect that would alter her perspective on who is controlling whom, as I would never do that to him, even regarding the alcohol problem, unless it became extremely serious. I have made significant efforts to make this relationship work emotionally, sexually, and logistically. I have acknowledged my flaws and mistakes. However, I do not feel as though I am receiving the same in return. Additional concern: drinking again. One thing that truly unsettled me was that during this call, he mentioned he was planning to start drinking again and insisted that he never had a real problem to begin with. This was perplexing because he was the one who initially informed me that he was drinking daily, sometimes driving with open containers, and that it was becoming an issue. I had encouraged him and praised his decision to distance himself from that lifestyle. Now he seemed to backtrack and suggest that I was overreacting. I explained that I was not trying to control him, but I was concerned because he had previously admitted it was a problem. He dismissed my concerns and appeared irritated that I brought it up at all, even though he was the one who broke down in tears over it after blacking out at the prom. So now I am in a difficult position. Am I overthinking all of this? Was I too controlling even though my intentions were good? Is his communication style simply different or is it manipulative? I do not feel like we are functioning as a team. I want accountability on both sides and healthy, open communication. Feelings and issues are not black and white but exist in a gray area where both parties can improve. However, I am uncertain if that is even feasible in this relationship any longer. Please, I just need an outside perspective. Summary. I, a 25-year-old male, have been in a long-distance relationship with my boyfriend, a 22-year-old male, for 8 months. Things have been wonderful in person, but communication challenges, differing sexual needs, and his drinking have begun to create tension. I supported him through his alcohol-related issues and made significant efforts to meet him halfway emotionally and sexually, even revealing my own struggles such as a pornography addiction. When I expressed my desire for more quality time this summer, he labeled me as controlling and ghosted me for 5 days. He later stated that he never enjoyed sex with me, accused me of selfishness, and laid out 3 ultimatums for our continued relationship. He must move in with me, I must drive him 2 hours daily to work, and I must agree to an open relationship. He is now planning to resume drinking and insists that it was never a problem, despite previously acknowledging it was. I feel as though I have continually attempted to communicate and improve, while he shuts down or ghosts me, fostering resentment. I am left wondering if I am the problem, if his behavior is manipulative, or if we are merely incompatible. I need assistance in determining whether I am missing something or being manipulated. Story 2. Stuck at 21, I pour my heart into a relationship with my boyfriend, 22, who prefers gaming and junk food over us. I deserve to be treated too, I say, but am I wasting my best years waiting for him to grow up? Is love enough to save me from this loneliness? Welcome to my chaotic situation. I apologize for any grammatical errors in advance. I need to express what's on my mind and heart. I am feeling overwhelmed and stuck. I am a 21-year-old female and have been with my boyfriend, who is 22 years old, for almost 2 years as of June, and we have known each other since the 8th grade. We have always been good friends and have gotten along well. When we first started dating, everything was fantastic, exciting, and fun, but now it is not. By this, I mean that we literally do nothing anymore, and he does not care at all about how I feel regarding that or about my desires and needs in this relationship. He simply wants to stay at home and play video games all day. He has no motivation to do anything. For instance, I have been asking him for months to share responsibilities equally on a wide range of matters, one of which involves planning our dates and asking if he could organize one for once. Every time I have brought this up for almost a year since we moved in, this upcoming July, as a point of reference. I have discussed the idea of establishing monthly date nights where we alternate who makes the plans and takes care of the details. However, he keeps resisting this suggestion, using every excuse imaginable and endlessly ignoring me. Time management and money are his main excuses. Currently, I work a night shift job at a laboratory, while he, despite having a welding certification, is stuck working a low-paying pizza job. I am not trying to judge. Initially, I did not mind it because he was having difficulty finding a job after moving in with me. We helped him find a position nearby, one he can walk to since he does not have a car, but he could earn more money and chooses not to. I work full-time 3 days a week, with 12-hour shifts and additional overtime on other days, as I often pick up extra shifts. He works full-time but at a pizza job where he barely makes anything, only works from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. every day. That is barely 5 hours, and his schedule is all over the place. Some weeks he works only 2-3 days, while others he may work 4-5 days. Still, he could have a welding job, earn more money, have a better work schedule, and choose not to. He has held 2 welding jobs, one before we started dating and another during our relationship. He quit both. For months, he has been saying that he needs more money and that things are tough, yet he refuses to seek another welding position, despite his professed love for it. Regarding time management, I have 4 days off each week. Additionally, I would like to mention that since I started my new job at the laboratory, I have transitioned from a clinical setting where I work 9-5 every day, 5 days a week. He has had every opportunity to return to welding since I literally have 4 days off. I offered him my car if he wanted to pursue that dream, get a welding job, and we could figure things out together. I would be happy to do so. especially if it means doing something he enjoys rather than working at a pizza shop. He has some days off with me, so I do not understand what is holding him back from pursuing this other than his lack of desire. He often says things just to quiet me down. Additionally, I should note that he struggles with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder and is not on medication, although he wants to be. However, he is also not putting in the effort to address that issue, which contributes to his struggles with time management. I do not want to nag, nor do I want to argue, but I am genuinely trying to improve myself and earn money while he can barely afford rent and support his nicotine habit. I do not mind paying for things as a woman and splitting bills. I believe that is fair. However, I end up paying for everything in this relationship. I have covered all the cost states, food, drinks, you name it, I have paid for it. Yet he cannot be bothered to plan a date or take me out for just 2-3 hours every few months. Still, he finds the money to order delivery almost every single day. I am exhausted from feeling alone in this relationship and I want more, but I am unsure if he will change. I do not wish to break up as I genuinely love him. He does not treat me poorly, but he shows no desire to grow. I do not know what else to do except tolerate it and hope that he will change as I better myself or simply leave. My other issues stem from this situation. For example, last year he did not give me anything for Valentine's Day or my birthday, even though I got him gifts. At the time, I did not mind too much because he was struggling with two difficult roommates and high rent, so I understood why things were tough. He was also working another pizza job before that but claimed he wanted a welding job, which he still does, by the way. I would also like to mention that I helped pay for his food when he needed it, and I drove every weekend until my car's transmission began to have issues. I eventually had to plead with him to take the train to visit me because the hour-long drive was rough on my older vehicle. I initially did not mind putting in more effort back then since I knew he had a lot going on and was struggling, and he also does not have the family support system that I do. His family situation is quite complicated, and his mother is difficult, to put it mildly. This year, he did get me something for Valentine's Day, but it was late, and he asked if I wanted to keep it or if he should save it for my birthday. This frustrated me because I was not upset about it being late. I simply want him to show me that he genuinely cares about me and means what he says about wanting a future with me. In the future, I want a house, children, and a life. We cannot build a life if I am the only one putting in all the effort. I deserve to be nurtured too. I deserve to be treated with care. I am not a materialistic person. I am not asking for extravagant gifts like 5-star dinners, fur coats, or diamond rings. I just want to go to a movie, go bowling, visit a bar, or take a walk in the park. Could he make me a card expressing his love? Could he buy me some candy or anything? Just a gesture would be nice. It makes me feel like I am not worth the effort or his hard-earned money. It feels as though he is ashamed of me and does not want to be seen with me in public. I just want us to have fun and be stable, especially since I desire a future with him and all of the things I listed. I do not understand why these issues are not important to him, and most significantly, I do not comprehend why he cannot see why they are essential to me and why he should value them as well. I am beginning to wonder if things would be better elsewhere, and I am feeling resentment towards him. I resent him for not getting a welding job. I resent him for not attempting to improve himself. I resent him for making me shoulder all the financial burdens and responsibilities. I am frustrated at everything right now. It is also reaching a point where I dread spending time with him. There is no longer any excuse for why he cannot mature and get himself together while with me. Moreover, he keeps putting off important tasks, such as renewing his driver's license, which needed to be done around his birthday last year in October. He took an excessively long time to take care of that and still has not gone to the Department of Motor Vehicles to obtain his new one. His temporary license expired on March 11th, and I was unaware of this until he mentioned it. He drove my car multiple times with an expired temporary license, which is completely unacceptable. Additionally, he procrastinated on his taxes last year, waiting until the last day of his extension, and is doing the same this year by filing for yet another extension instead of addressing it. I acknowledge that I am upset and may come across as hostile, but I do not want to hurt him. I love him deeply. There is nothing I would not do for him because I care so much. I do not want to break up, and I know that if we do, it will hurt both of us. I know he loves me and I love him fiercely, but I do not know how much longer I can endure this alone. I do not want to feel like I am talking to a brick wall in this relationship. Additionally, I do not want to deal with the stress of dividing our belongings, such as our PlayStation 5, for which I pay a monthly subscription. He promised to split the cost but has not contributed in the 5 months since we acquired it. While we initially shared the cost of the console evenly, I do not want to argue over that or the logistics of moving out. I also hope we can maintain our friendship, but I am overwhelmed and unsure. I have never lived with someone before, and I do not know how to navigate this situation. I have had serious relationships, but never one that I could see a future with or one this profound. There are countless unknowns and issues that I feel uncertain about how to address, and I am beginning to feel like I am going insane. More and more, I feel trapped. In summary, my boyfriend is not putting any effort into our relationship, and after countless discussions about our issues, I am questioning whether this is worth trying to salvage anymore and am considering a breakup.